consular principles today. It's been a wonderful moment. I just finished a class and we discussed the reasoning and solution essay, and I feel we should also have a quick take on that too. So what is the reason and solution essay all about? Okay, you should know that the IELTS writing section, mostly task 2, comes in form of an essay, and the task there could come in 5 variants, meaning in 5 ways. You could either be asked to give advantages and disadvantages to a question prompt, or probably you could be asked to agree or disagree to a question prompt, or invariably you could be asked to discuss both sides of an opinion and give your position or your own preferability there, or you could have the reason and solution essay there, or probably answer a direct question. So those are the 5 variants you could have there. So today I will concentrate more on the reason and solution. So once you get a reason solution question, you need to really ask yourself, do they want me to just give reasons, or they want me to give reasons and at least a solution or suggestion, or they want me to give reasons and solutions? So you have to be clear about that. Remember, it's reasons, not reason. Okay, so that means you have at least 2 points to present as reasons, not just one. So students definitely make a lot of mistakes when it comes to that. You need to know that if the reason comes with an S, meaning reasons, plurality, that means I have to give 2, minimum, maximum 3. But I encourage students to just keep it at 2 because the word counts is kind of minimal, so you don't overwrite. Because the more you write, the more mistakes you make. So if I'm clear about the reasons, then I have to see the other part there. So I'm asked to give solutions. Now, not at least a solution, but solutions. So that means I give at least 2 reasons and 2 solutions. The next step quickly will be to start off with my outline. So my outline will tell me what to do to this essay. Naturally, I would advise students to have at least 4 paragraphs in their essay. And the 4 paragraphs, suggestively, we have the introduction, which is the first paragraph, and that details exactly what you intend to do to the entire body of the essay. Then your conclusion, which will be the last paragraph, as the 4th paragraph, which summarizes your background and thesis statements. Then basically, the bulk of the job will be in the body contents, which will be paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. Here we detail everything about the reasons and the solutions. So since we know the introduction will just be in the introductory part there, so the basic idea would be, if I start with my introduction, so my first sentence summarizes the prompt as in the question, then my second sentence in my introduction gives me a picture of what their reasons and solutions are. Now, a lot of students tend to delay that into their body. For me, I am of the opinion, or rather my convention that I teach my students would be to detail, give a simple, logical synopsis of what you intend to do. So I encourage my students, the second sentence of their introduction should give us a picture of what the reasons are and what possible solutions you intend to give. Remember, you are not discussing it, you are just stating them there or listing them, okay? So if, for instance, smoking among the youth is alarming today, and you asked her what could be the possible reasons to these incidents and possible solution. So I know that possibly peer pressure could be one of the reasons why the youth smoke. Another reason could be probably out of depression. They could smoke as a result of not actually having that parental care. So 2 possible reasons are displayed. That could be peer pressure and depression. Okay, then possible solutions I could have could be probably putting a ban on the product's totality, which could be a legitimate means for the government to get it out of the system, or probably there could be increase in the tariff on this product so it becomes more expensive. So these younger people or younger adults or youth would not be able to purchase. So I have my solutions and my reasons. So what I do is I pick them together and I try to make a sentence with them, making up my second part of my introduction. So with this second sentence in my introduction, I already have an idea of what I want to do to my second paragraph or my third paragraph. So the examiner was already reading and getting the picture. Okay, this is what I intend to discuss. That way, you already have a cue. You can't go out of track because you already created a platform to work with. Once I'm done with this in my introduction, I go straight to my second paragraph. So what do I do there? Since the question starts off with reasons, I start off with my reasons first. So my two reasons there, I try as much as possible to build them up in the second paragraph. So what I do is I use my first sentence in my second paragraph to introduce my first reason, then my second sentence to introduce a developing statement to expatiate on the idea of my first reason. So that makes two sentences. My third sentence in the second paragraph will introduce my second reason. There I state my second reason in a simple sentence. Then my fourth sentence in the second paragraph will be to develop my second reason. In a way, I have four sentences. This way, I can't overwrite, neither would I underwrite. And remember, you have to vary on your structure. So if you're putting on your first sentence and your third sentence in simple format, which I always encourage students to do, make sure your cover statements, these are statements that introduce the idea you want to discuss. Bring them up in simple sentences. So my first sentence and my third sentence comes up in simple sentences. That implies that my second and my third can't be simple. I have to make either a compound, a complex, or a compound complex. If you're not clear about this sentence type, tap on this video right now and learn. It's very important, because if you don't create a range of complexities to your sentences, you might not get more score, or probably the scores might drop under grammar range and accuracy. So in a way, you have four sentences in your second paragraph. So that quickly takes us to the third paragraph. In my third paragraph, I'll be talking about my solutions here. Okay? Now, in this paragraph, it's better I start with this paragraph with a linker. Now, this linker will create a kind of integration between what I've said earlier in my second paragraph and what I intend to say or write about in my third paragraph. So down here, I can start with a linker that contrasts what I've said earlier, because I have two opposite ends here. Reasons, solutions. Okay, so I could begin with saying, although, on the other hand, contrary to this, however, nonetheless. So these are contrasting keywords. We call them transitional markers or linkers. We can use them to introduce ideas that contrasts what has been stated earlier. So the moment I start off with a wonderful linker this way, the next thing I do is to introduce a simple sentence introducing my first solution. Okay, so once I state my first solution there, in my first sentence, my second sentence will be to develop it, as usual. Okay, once I develop the idea, which is my first solution, I end my second sentence there. My third sentence there should be my second solution. Remember, we are asked to give solutions, so I should have at least two. So the moment I'm done with my introduction of the second solution, I bring in my fourth sentence, which is to develop the second solution. Remember, a range of sentence structure is very important. So if I have my first and my third sentence in simple sentences or simple tenses, then my second and my fourth must be in complex or compound forms. So this way I have four sentences for my third paragraph. Then in my last paragraph there, I will be talking about how my thesis statement and my background statement all interfaces. Remember, the conclusion is not a template for you to repeat everything you've said. I've seen a lot of essays where students begin to rewrite all the points they've discussed earlier in their second paragraph and in the third paragraph. That is an awkward thing to do. You don't necessarily have to write out the points again. Rather, you have to summarize the point. What should be the reason why these things need to be done? What are we looking at? What will be the after effects of this point or these ideas being initiated? So once you're able to do that, then you can summarize in your own words. Remember, writing out your point you've discussed in your second and third paragraph verbatim, it's wrong or probably awkward in that manner there. And once you're done with the conclusion, try much as possible not to write one sentence paragraph, okay? Make sure at least in each of the paragraph you have a minimum of two sentences. So if you're taking the introduction and the conclusion, make sure you have at least two sentences there. Don't do one sentence, regardless of the length of the sentence. So if you're writing too long, break it into two sentences. These kind of exposes or showcases that you've actually elaborated on the structure of the essay, meaning that you have the first part introducing your background statement in the introduction, the second part introducing your thesis statement. Then in your conclusion, the first part of the sentence there kind of creates a summary of your body content. Then the last sentence then re-emphasizes on your thesis statement. So in a way, every sentence you have in the essay must carry out a particular job. One of the reasons why students don't do well in the essay is because they have a lot of redundancies. What are redundancies? A lot of in other words. So once you do a lot of in other words, you come down to redundancies, meaning you are repeating what you have said earlier. And on IELTS essays, there are no rooms for re-emphasizing what has been emphasized. Needless. Go straight to the point, hit it on the head, give details to it, and that will be it. I guess everything I just talked about looks so theoretical. I want to take you to the classroom now. Let's see how this works. Come on with me. Okay, welcome one more time to the Gonzalo Principles today. Talking about the reasons solution essay, and on screen quickly we have the question: overpopulation in a lot of urban areas around the globe is a serious problem. So, what are the reasons for this situation and suggest possible solutions? Obviously, we are evidently giving out possible reasons here, and also we are giving out solutions here. Okay, so one thing we have at the back of our mind is we're giving reasons, not just a reason, but reasons. And here we also have solutions, not just one here. So as usual, in order to start off an essay, I always advise you guys to always begin with what we call the outline. Just like an architectural design of what your writer is all about. Okay, quickly, I have four paragraphs as you can see clearly. My first paragraph will serve as my introduction here, which I'll be introducing my reasons and my solutions. I need not to waste time on that, as the case might be. So quickly, once I'm done with that, I go straight to my second paragraph, where I shall be discussing my reasons. Okay, so I have two reasons here. I do not want to go more than two, so I don't overwrite the essay. Remember, we're looking at the word range of about 250 to 300. So on my reasons, I'll be talking about greener pastures, okay, and career advancements as possible reasons why people move from suburban or probably rural areas to the cities. In my paragraph 3, I will be talking about my solutions, okay? Remember, the question wants us to look at our reasons and solutions. So basically, we have more than one solution here. So my first solution will be basic amenities. And finally, I'll be talking about job creation. Okay. Okay, so moving on to our first paragraph, which will be our introduction. So basically, I always advise students your introduction here should be basically of two things. One, you what we call the background statement, okay, and basically what we call the thesis statement. If you watch my video on how to make a perfect essay introduction, you definitely would have come across the background statement and it's a statement there. So moving on, our introduction made up of these two statements there. So my first sentence reads, it is of urgent concern that the migration of individuals to cosmopolitan places is on the rise, and these will evidently come with its attendant consequences around the world. Remember, I used the word cosmopolitan places in place of saying urban areas. Say I want to show a bit of lexical resource, so I try as much as possible to use my own words. Okay, it's very important. So from this point here, which is my first sentence, down to this point here, I try to rewrite the question. That's the essence of you having the background statement. You are trying to retell or rephrase the question. Quickly, my second sentence here in and here, seeking a better life and striving towards career advancement are possible courses, although the creation of basic amenities and job creation schemes can abate these upward trend. So with my introduction, I already have a template of what I intend to do. So my solutions, I have seeking a better life. That's my first solution here. Okay, down here. Then my second solution is striving towards career advancement as my second solution. So that makes up my first part of my thesis statement here. And my second part, that is the creation of basic amenities as my first solution here. Okay. And my second solution there will be job creation scheme. Okay, so what I've just quickly done here is, which I also advise students to do, is your introduction should tell what you intend to do. Do not keep the cat in the bag till you get down to the bottom. Let the examiner or the rater see what you're about to do. It makes it clear in a way, and you write up a little bit succinct. Okay. Another thing again you would have noticed is I tried to show a range of my sentences. I did not just do a simple and simple. I did a simple and I tried to make the other one look more complex. Okay, and more structurally, if you look at my first sentence here, it is of urgent concern that the migration of individuals to cosmopolitan places is on the rise. That's my first sentence here, which ends at this point here. Then I have this will evidently come with its attendant consequences around the world, and my second sentence ends. So I'm using these as my conjunction to create a perfect compound sentence. So basically, my second sentence here begins with seeking a better life and striving towards career advancement are possible courses. So the sentence ends here. And I start my second sentence here with the creation of basic amenities and job creation schemes can abate this upward trend. Note carefully here, I use this here, my subordinator, to join the sentences there. So my second sentence gives me a perfect complex sentence. So I have one compound, one complex. What a wonderful way to write your introduction. Moving on to my second paragraph, which is where I will be talking about my reasons. Okay, so I try to inform students, make sure you don't intertwine, as in mix up your reasons and solutions. A lot of students will want to have one reason, one solution in paragraph 2, then the second reason and the second solution in paragraph 3. Remember, the question doesn't want you to compare and contrast. You need to be very careful and understand the context of what the question wants you to do. So in paragraph 2, I'll be giving my reasons. I begin first. Individuals seeking greener pastures head to the urban areas. In a simple sentence, I introduce my first reason, which I also advise students to do. Make sure your cover statement, which is what I have here, my cover statement, it's in a simple sentence. The simpler it is, the better. All right. So here I have seeking greener pastures. Individuals seeking greener pastures head to the urban areas. Remember, I use the word greener pastures here, but I started off with better life here. So I'm trying to show a little bit of lexical resource there, which is a wonderful thing. But if you cannot really get on the word to replace what your point is, kindly still use it. Okay. So moving on to my next sentence, which is an extension of what I have from my cover statement there. A lot of migrants who leave the countryside and small towns are in search of better lives, and these ambitious prospects is mostly made realistic in the big city. So my sentence here, which is my first extension, starts from a lot of migrants and down to cities here, did not just fall from the sky. I try to hinge on something which is greener pastures. Remember the rule of hinging on something? You must connect what you previously written. You can't just write a sentence out of the blues. So I'm hinging on greener pastures. Why do people seek greener pastures? So that brings up my second sentence, which is my first extension there. Then afterwards, I have my detail here. For instance, for instance here, let's quickly make that term correction here. Okay, correction is done now. So say for instance here, headquarters of corporations, state capitals, and modern social
interests are all concentrated in the urban areas, hence the influx of people to this region. Okay, so you note something carefully here. I gave an example, which is my detail here, and it hinged on something. Okay, I'm talking about why reason people want to leave the rural areas and down to the big cities now to get ambitious prospects. Okay, so one of these ambitious prospects that make people move away from the city is to make their ideas about better life here more realistic. And how do they get this done? By enjoying these basic amenities listed in my detail. Remember, never give a new sentence that does not connect to what you've said earlier. Remember, it shouldn't be a repeat, but something fresh, new to add to the lot, so it makes your paragraph a little bit more comprehensive. Now, remember, my second paragraph, we're talking about my reason. So I'm done with my first reason. I'm moving straight to my second reason. Next, careers are advanced in a big city. So I have another simple sentence. Okay. Remember the rule. Make sure your cover statements are all simple. So another cover statement here. All your cover statements must be in simple sentences. The trick is the simpler your ideas, the better the comprehension. So I moved on to my next sentence that every professional wants to work in establishments with international best practices, and these dreams can mostly be achieved in the crowded urban regions. So with my second sentence here, I try to hinge on career advancement here. So careers are advanced here. And the only place careers can be advanced is to go to the big cities. So in a way, my second sentence is still hinge back to this and this there. So there's nothing really new I just brought in. I just tried to make an extension from what I've done already. So basically, my reason centers more on individuals seeking greener pastures and also watching out for careers being advanced in a big city. With these, I will be true with my reasons, and I definitely will be moving on to give solutions to the question. So quickly, my third paragraph here will be talking about my solutions. Okay. And down here, I intend talking about basic amenities and job creation schemes. Now, it's wonderful when you sit back and you try to look into what points you intend to discuss, because with the points, it's easier to definitely get ideas out without wasting much time there. And when you develop these ideas, they sit in pretty well to respond to the question perfectly. Let's see what I have in my third paragraph. I started off quickly with a wonderful linker here. On the contrary, this implies that I want to change lane or track from where I've been coming from. So I start off with my reasons. I want to move to the other side of the field, which is to talk about solutions. So I use a wonderful contrasting marker like this. You could say, on the contrary, although, nonetheless, nevertheless, however. These are wonderful linkers you can use to, in a way, turn the events of things and bring in a new set of ideas. So I started off with my first sentence here. Basic amenities and innovative infrastructures will curtail the movement of people into the metropolitan area. Remember, that question comes with customer with urban area. I'm bringing in metropolitan area. So I've used metropolitan, I've used cosmopolitan. So these are just a range of my words in order to show my lexical dexterity, which the examiners actually will be looking out for otherwise. So if you look at it carefully, my first sentence, which is my cover statement here, came out with still a simple sentence. So the simpler it is, the better. Then moving on to my first extension here, I have one of the fascinating ambience of the big city, easy availability of conveniences and utility centers, and these evidently lure rural dwellers to the urban centers. So this sentence here, from the very beginning, from one of the fascinating, hinges more on basic amenities here and innovative infrastructures. So there is no instance where I have to start thinking out of the box. I already have something in mind to work with, and I try to just create sentences out of it. Okay. In order to increase my word count, I quickly gave an example here. So for example, movie theaters or public parks and exhibition centers are part of the special effects. Individuals seek in overcrowded urban centers. So basically I ended up here with my example, and I tried to look at what did I hinge on here. So I try to hinge on availability of conveniences and utility centers. That's what I hinged on in the previous sentence. And I try to create something out of it, which is the movie theater, public parks, and exhibition centers. So with these, I already have an extension in mind to build on. Moving on to my next solution, I brought in another wonderful linker here subsequently. I could say consequently or furthermore. In addition, those are wonderful linkers you can work with there. Now, moving on, I introduce my point here with another simple sentence here. I started off with our employment opportunities in the suburban places will decongest the urban areas. So I started with employment opportunities there. So that's my key word I actually want to discuss here. And that led me to a wonderful extension in my second sentence. The establishment of job creation schemes deeply subsidized by public and private partnership will in no small measure decrease the movement of individuals from the countrysides to the cities. So this sentence here I created last in more on employment opportunities. So in a way, I am not at a loss. I already have something in mind that I have created or I worked on, and that made my paragraph more concentrated on the question. Moving into my last paragraph quickly. Overall, okay, so in my conclusion, which will be my fourth paragraph, remember I always say you have four paragraphs, not to overwrite or underwrite, as the case may be. The more you write, the more mistakes you make, and our word range should go between 250 and 300. So overall congestion in the cities is a natural albatross as a result of advancements. However, if resources are evenly distributed, overpopulation in the urban centers will naturally diminish. Now, if you notice something carefully here, from my first sentence here down to my second sentence here, I did not in any way repeat my point, which is one thing you must not do. Never repeat your points in your conclusion. The basic reason for your conclusion is to summarize everything you've said or paraphrase the ideas you've given there. So avoid repeating your points there. So if you look at my first sentence carefully, from this point here, I quite to acknowledge the fact that yes, it's becoming a challenging factor. So I use the word albatross here. If you can't really get a better lexical term, you can still use the word challenge, difficulty can best fit in here too. So I use the word albatross in order to indicate or support the idea that the movement of people to the urban area creates overpopulation, and this is a problem. So I went on to contrast the idea based on my solutions that I gave, that if resources are evenly distributed, overpopulation in the urban centers will naturally diminish. So this one sentence tried to summarize all my solutions in one simple sentence. Okay. This way, I have not repeated my ideas. I have not verbatim copied out from my paragraphs. I've said something new, but still connected to what I start off with in my body paragraph there. Here you have it, a simple analysis of the reasoning solution essay. Wish you success and keep practicing.
Oh, great. So I guess you had a lovely time looking at the essay. I guess it looked a little bit simpler compared to what you must have projected before now. Just know what you're doing in each of the paragraph, plan towards it, practice a lot, and definitely you will scale through. I guess you enjoyed this essay. And if you've actually enjoyed it and you're not subscribed yet, I would encourage you to go below this video now and subscribe. And don't forget to hit on the notification bell so you get more videos popping up. Quickly, in my next video, I will be talking about how to write the discuss both sides of a view and giving your own opinion. I hope you want to get a view on that there. Make sure you subscribe so you can get the video instantly as I pop them up to my channel. Don't forget to drop a comment and to hear from you soon. Bye.